Hello, I'm your host, Lyra Pinchatti, and I'm part of the Elliott High Network. The Washington Teachers Union has launched a major initiative called Learning Doesn't Stop, Lessons on TV. Let's check out Mr. Bonhomme from School Within a School. Mr. Bonhomme is teaching a lesson about representing 2 and 3-digit numbers with tens and ones. Are you ready to learn? Take it away, Mr. Bonhomme.
Hi, young mathematicians. My name is Raphael Bonhomme. You could call me Mr. Bonhomme. And I'm a third grade math teacher, science teacher, and social studies teacher at School Within School here in Washington, D.C. Today, we'll be having a discussion about some second grade math. I've taught second grade before, about representing 2 and 3-digit numbers with only tens and ones. Now, to get everything started, we're going to do a quick warm-up. I know you've been away from school, probably been in your house, staying as healthy as possible and staying clean. But let's get your brain energized. And we're first going to start with some skip counting by tens. It's very important. You'll know at the end of this lesson why it's super duper important. Follow me. What we have here are a lot of different plates. Now, all these plates are going to represent 10. We're going to add by tens. Let's first start with here. We have the number 10. You see the name 10, the number 10, it has 0 ones and it has 1 10. To represent that, I put 1 10 rod. I know that you are probably very familiar with that. So that 10 rod looks like a long rectangle, is going to represent a 10. Here we have 20, the number 20. It has 0 ones and it has 2 10s and it has 2 10 rods to represent that. Here we have the number 30. It has 0 ones, 3 10s, and 3 10 rods to represent that. I know that you see a pattern going on. Over here we have the number 40. It has 0 ones, 4 10s, and 4 10 rods to represent that. Here we have 50. 0 ones, 5 10s, 5 10 rods. Those 5 10 rods represents 50. But we could write it as 5 10s and 0 ones. Let's keep it going. And you notice in that first row up there, there are 5 different plates. Each one represents 10. Over here in the second row, we have 60. 0 ones, 6 10s. And we have 6 10 rods to represent that. Over here we have 70. 0 ones, 7 10s, 7 10 rods to represent that. Over here we have 80. 0 ones, 8 10s, and 8 10 rods to represent that. Here we have 90. It's 0 ones, 9 10s, and 9 10 rods to represent that. And here, a very important number is 100. I want you to remember this. 100 has 0 ones and has 10 10s. It has 10 rods to represent that. It's kind of tricky to say. 10 10 rods or 10 10s. If you skip count by 10 times, you'll get to 100. It's the same thing as saying 10 times 10 equals 100. But we're not stopping there. We're going to keep it going. We have 110. That's 11 10s and 0 ones. If we skip count by 10 times and then add another 10, that's 11 10s. And that will get us to 110. You see that there are 11 10 rods to represent that. Here we have 120. That's actually 0 ones and 12 10s. We're not going to talk about the hundreds because we already know once we got to 100, that represented 10 10s. So now we're going over 10 10s. So it's 12 10s and 0 ones. And we have 12 10 rods to represent that. You can even try at home to skip count by 10, pass using your fingers, and then see that you'll get past 100. Over here we have 130. It has 0 ones, 13 10s. So we have 13 10 rods to represent that. It's like 13 times 10, which would equal 130. Over here we have 140, which is 0 ones and 14 10s. There are 14 10 rods to represent that. And if you notice over here, we still have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And I grouped that together to let you know it's 10 rods over there. And then we have 4 extra, which would be 14 tens, 140. And today, we're just going to stop here at 150, which is 0 ones, 15 tens. You can see that we have 15 10 rods to represent that. Now, that was just some skip counting that we were doing. Let's get it moving over here to get on with our lesson. It's very important that we know how many tens are in 2-digit numbers and 3-digit numbers. Let's look at my whiteboard down here. We're going to get some practice in. And don't worry, if I'm moving too fast, you'll be able to check this at the end of this lesson on the internet at this website, WTUlocal6.net. And I'll show you again at the end of the lesson. We're first going to start with this number 46. Now, we're going to look at the tens place, which is right here. I'll put a T for tens place. And we're going to look at the ones place, which is right here to the right. Let's first start with the ones place. We have 6, but I'm also going to write this 6 ones, just so you know that that is 6 ones. Now over here, if I took a 6 out of 46, what I'm left is with 40, because 40 plus 6 equals 46. Another way to write 40, like we learned from our skip counting, was that it is 4 tens. That's simple. I'll even do it in a place value form, so then you'll know. 6 ones looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 tens looks like this. 10, 20, 30, 40. Excuse me. That doesn't really look like a rectangle, but I know you get it. I know you get the gist. This is 4 10 rods, and these are 6 ones, which will equal 46. 4 tens, 6 ones. Let's speed this up a little bit because we don't have that much time today, but trust me, we'll do some more of this every single week once you tune in and make sure that your brain stays healthy. We're going to look at this number 89, which is another 2-digit number. Let's first look at the ones place. We notice that there are 9 ones. And then we took a 9 out of 89. It would just be 80. That's that other part. Now, we know that if we skip count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, that's 8 tens. It tells you right there. So this is 8 tens. That means that we do 8 10 rods. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. And we do 9 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You may not think this is important, but it's very important, very easy. Let's move on to a 3-digit number. 153. We have 3 ones. This time I'm not even going to show you how to do it in the base 10 model. We're just going to zoom in a little bit more, but you can get some more practice online. We see that there's a number right here in the tens column, a 5, but it's not only a 5, it's really 5 tens, which is really 50. And we have right here 100. Now with this 100, from our skip counting, we know that it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, which is 10 tens right here. And these 5 tens will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens. If we count how many tens we have in all right here, it's actually 15 tens and 3 ones. So 15 tens and 3 ones. Now, before we wrap up, I want to show you how all of this is important in real life. Because right before we had this spring break out of nowhere, trust me, I wasn't even prepared for it. I made a trip to a store. Now, I went to the store because I knew we had spring break. And just like kids like to enjoy their spring break, I like to enjoy my spring break as well. I decided to go buy a video game. I was so excited because I heard so much about this fun game, and I haven't had a video game in a long time because I've just been teaching so much. Now, when I got to the store, it was right before it was closing, so I was kind of in a rush. The cashier rang up the video game that I got, and they said it was $299. Cool. I'm a teacher, so I've been getting paid for all the work and all the teaching that I've been doing. But there was a little bit of a problem. I checked my wallet and boom, I only had tens and I only had ones. My goodness, what was I going to do? So I didn't want to give too much money because I didn't want to get gypped and lose my hard work and money at the store just for a video game. So what do you think I needed to do? I thought about it a little bit, and I realized I know how to do this. $299. First, I decided to pull out the ones out of my wallet. I gave the cashier 9 $1 bills. So I'll put that, the dollar sign symbol. So 9 ones. Easy. What I had left was $290. This was the tricky part. But I knew that if I had tens, I could get to 290. I could do it. And in the tens place, there was actually a 90. So I took that 90 out, $90. And if I skip counted by tens, I knew that that would be 9 tens. Simple. Skip counted, easy. But what I had left was $200 I still needed to pay with these tens. I thought about it a little bit more. The cashier, she just wanted to go home. And I remembered that when I had skip counted by tens, I got to 100. It took 10 tens to actually get to 100. So I took $100, but all in tens. So that was 10 tens. But then I also knew that in 200, there are actually 2 $100 bills that I should have gotten from the bank, but I forgot. And this was another 10 tens. So what I realized is that I already gave the cashier 9 ones, and I needed to give the cashier 9 tens, 10 tens, and another 10 tens. 10 tens plus 10 tens would equal 20 tens. And then I had that 9 tens from that 90, remember? So when I combined this 20 tens and this 9 tens, I knew that that would be 29 tens. So what did I end up doing? I ended up giving that cashier 29 tens and 9 ones. I got my video game, which after this lesson and after doing some reading today, I'm going to get to. Usually in my classroom, when I have my final answer, I circle it and I put a crown on it, letting them know I'm the champion. I know that was a lot, and that was very, very quick. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I got to go play my video game, and I have to go read. I hope that you continue your learning, you stay healthy, you stay safe. And to get more resources, you can just go on this website, WTUlocal6.net. I will have plenty to put on there, so then you can feed those hungry brains, stay healthy. Boom. Thanks. See you next week, and I hope you enjoyed. Once again, I'm Mr. Bonon. Tune in next week and make sure you stay hungry, stay safe. Have a good one.
Hi, my name is Casey Boyd. I am a library media specialist and I currently work at Jefferson Academy located in Ward 6, Southwest DC. And today I'm going to read a wonderful picture book that I think you're really going to enjoy. The name of the picture book is called Sulwe, and it's written by Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o, you might remember her because she won an Academy Award a couple of years ago. So she's written this wonderful book that's based off of her personal experience as a young girl. So let's read the book together, and I hope that you really enjoy it. Sulwe was born the color of midnight. She's such a beautiful little girl. But Sulwe was quite concerned. She looked nothing like her family, and not even a little, not even at all. You see, her mama was the color of dawn, and her baba was the color of dusk. And Mitch, her sister, was the color of high noon. Hardly anyone at her school looked like Sulwe either. People gave her sister, Mitch, pet names like Sunshine and Ray and Beauty. But people gave Sulwe names like Blackie and Darky and Night. So she hid away while her sister made lots of friends. Sulwe dreamed of being the same color as her sister, and she wanted real friends too. So she got the biggest eraser that she could find, and she tried to rub off a layer or two of her darkness. Wow, that hurt. And she crept into Mama's room and helped herself to her makeup. Oh no, she would hear about this from Mama. But then Sulwe decided to work from the inside out and ate only the lightest and the brightest food. So, with a stomach ache, Sulwe went to bed early and she turned to God for a miracle. Dear Lord, she prayed, why do I look like midnight when my mother looks like dawn? Please make me as fair as the parents I'm from. I want to be beautiful and not just to pretend. I want to have daylight. I want to have friends. If you hear me, my Lord, and would like to comply, may I wake up as bright as the sun in the sky. Amen. So when Mama came in to wake her up for school the next morning, Sulwe rose to find not a trace of daylight in her midnight skin. Sulwe told Mama everything. And there you see Sulwe was praying at night. Mama asked, what is your name? Sulwe, she muttered. And what does that mean? Star, Sulwe whispered. And there they are in her bedroom. And there's Mama and Sulwe talking together. Brightness is not in your skin, my love. Brightness is just who you are. As for beauty, Mama said, rubbing Sulwe's stomach, the way she always did to comfort her when she was sad. You are beautiful. Sulwe just sighed. Well, you're beautiful to me, but you can't rely on what you look like to make you feel beautiful, my sweet. Real beauty comes from your mind and your heart. It begins with how you see yourself and not how others see you. Now, up you get, out and out you go. But how could she, as dark as she was, have brightness in her? How could she have beauty when no one but her mother seemed to see it? How could she be a star? That night, a shooting star appeared in Sulwe's window, and the night sent me, the star said, come with me. Sulwe hopped into the star, and off they went. So where is Sulwe going? We're going to see where she's going. Well, let's see where she's going. Long ago, at the beginning of time, said the star, there was night and day, and there were two sisters. They loved each other very much, but people didn't treat the sisters the same. Sounds like they have the same problem that Sulwe does, doesn't it? Let's see. People gave Day pet names like lovely and nice and pretty. People gave Night names like scary and bad and ugly. She felt hurt every time. Well, Night just got fed up and walked right off of the earth. Day stayed behind and enjoyed making everybody happy in the sun. But then Day grew too long. The Day began to really miss her sister, and so did everyone else. So they missed the sister. So let's see what happens. Does the sister come back? Let's see. There had to be a way to get her back. Day set off to find Night, and she did. I miss you, said Day. I miss you too, said Night, but you don't know what it's like to be treated badly for being dark. You're right, I don't, Day replied, but what I do know is that we need you to be just the way you are. Come and see. Night returned and the people rejoiced. We need the darkest night to get the deepest rest. We need you so that we can grow old and dream and keep our secrets to ourselves. The stars chimed in. Brightness isn't just for the daylight. Light comes in all colors, and some light can only be seen in the dark. While day had a golden glow, with night everything had a silver sheen, elegant and fine. Day told her sister, when you are darkest, it's when you are most beautiful. It's when you are the most you. Could it be that Night did not need to change? Not even a little, not even at all. Now that night and day were back together, a little bit of night returned to day in the form of shadows, and a little bit of day returned to night in the form of moonlight. They were inseparable from that moment on and promised to celebrate the brightness in each other, whether people chose to see it or not. You see, the star explained, we need them both on their sunniest day and their darkest night, and every shade in between. Together, they make the world we know light and dark, strong and beautiful. Sulwe rose the next morning, beaming. There would be no hiding anymore. She belonged out in the world, dark and beautiful, bright and strong. Look at little Sulwe. She is so happy. And I know her mother is very happy too. And if she ever needed a reminder of her brightness, she could look up at the sky on the darkest night to see for herself. Sulwe felt beautiful inside and out. And that is the end. I want to read something from the end of the story that's very touching from the author. She says that um, the journey was her journey that she went on was very different from Sulwe's nighttime adventure, but the lesson was the same. There is so much beauty in this world and inside you that others are not awake to do. Don't wait for anyone to tell you what is beautiful. Know that you are beautiful because you chose to be. Know that you are always were and always can be. Treasure it and let it light the way in everything that you do. This is Sulwe, written by Lupita Nyong'o, illustrated by Vashti Harrison. Beautiful book. I hope you enjoyed this. I have a little lesson I'd like to share with you as well, because I read this story to my niece and nephew, and they enjoyed it as well. There's a simple activity, parents, that you can do with your children at home. I think that you will probably enjoy. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you a short PowerPoint presentation that I did, and it demonstrates the little activity that I did with my niece and nephew and how much they enjoyed this. So we're going to load this up, and now we will see it. So to continue on, I found this activity on a website which is called teachingbooks.net. It's a wonderful website that you can access through your cell phone, or you can access through a desktop computer or laptop or even an iPad. And the really nice thing about this is that they have a lot of activities and extensions of any book that is read online. So this is a great place to find nice activities for your kids at home. So I found this one, and it's very simple. How do you shine? And it's the example that we learned in the story of Sulwe. So I read the story to my niece and nephew, and I asked the same question: how do I shine? And I took a regular notebook sheet of paper and I drew a star. I'm not the best artist, I will tell you that right now. And I just drew a star. We had a discussion about what makes you shine, what are things that you can do to shine, and how can you show your beauty that's within you. My niece and nephew drew pictures that describe that. My nephew was 8 years old. He drew a picture where he was explaining that he could shine by following directions, doing his homework on time during distance learning, and also being just a good boy around the house with helping out with all of the chores that he has to do. Now, my niece, on the other hand, she's 4 years old, so she drew a picture using crayons and markers, and she had a good time, as you can see. I cut those pictures out. Remember, these is nothing big to do with this. I just used regular notebook paper, and after they were cut out, I placed them on the refrigerator door as an example of sharing the beauty within yourself and how you can shine. And there it is. Simple activity that you can do at home based off of the book Sulwe. Now, if you like this story, students and family members can access a wonderful collection of ebooks through the DC Public Schools Library Collection. It's called Follow Destiny. And if you log on your cell phones, dcps.followdestiny.com, ask your child about the student credentials, which is it's a combination of their first, last name, and their birth date. And once you log on to the site, you just scroll down on the left-hand side of the screen, find your child's school, and that's how you can connect to your child's school's Library Media Center. Now, if you need any more support with this activity, what you can do is you can contact your DCPS Library Media Specialist for more support. If you are unable to connect with your library media specialist, please send an email to dcpslibrarians@gmail.com, and we will assist you in connecting with that librarian that's assigned to your child's school.